All right, so I'm gonna start with a quick little tutorial here on how to create Google Classroom header, the banner that you use in your Google Classroom, how to change that and do something that's kind of cool right now. It's kind of in, which is using the Bitmojis that people are using. So we're all in this together in this global pandemic. We're all at home and we're turning our classroom into this digital atmosphere, right? So let's check this out. We're gonna start off here with, you can see my header that I'm gonna use the finished product. What I did was end up using a background picture. It's not so clear, but it's the best one I found online of my mother's hometown in Mexico, Tamazulita, Jalisco. And it's the best one I could find to use. And then I created a title for my classroom, the section. And then I also have my Bitmoji that I created a while back. And so I'm going to kind of show, this is the product, and I'm actually going to show how it looks like in your Google Classroom. So if you look right here, you'll see in your header, I here have Español dos. I have myself here as an animated person, a Bitmoji. And then I have right here Zamora, Michoacan, which is a photo I found online as well, my father's hometown. And so if we go here to your Google Classroom, right, you can see that I have that in all my classes so far, okay? And I'm gonna show you how to do it from scratch, all right? So we'll get started right away. Okay, so first what you wanna do is start off with Google Drawings. So if you just Google it, right, you go Google Drawings, it will pop up as a free tool as long as you have access to your Google. So if your school allows you to use Google Suite, then you can do this. If not, you can make your own Gmail and they should be able to use it. So it's Google Drawings, okay? So we get there and it's gonna give you a blank canvas. It's gonna ask you if you want to name it and start. So I actually looked up online the pixel dimensions that we use for this, and it's 1,000 by 250. Okay, so you go to New File, Page Setup, and it's already in the standard 4x3. But what you want to do is go to Custom, click on Custom, and we have it in inches here. What you want to do is change that to pixels. Okay, so we're here at pixels. Okay, and you're going to type in 1,000 by 250. All right, so just to kind of go back a little bit, review, go to File, Page Setup, change it to Custom, 1,000 by 250 pixels. You apply it. You're going to see it's going to change your canvas to a longer one, a banner size. Okay, and so this is the banner size that we have right now in the final product. This is the banner size that you see up here in the Google Classroom. Okay, and so what we're going to do is we're going to go back to your Google drawing, and you can start off with anything. So you go Insert, and you can get a photo from just about anywhere on the web. That's what I did. Or you can upload a photo that you already have from your phone or camera that you wanted to use. Okay, even if you have a drive or some kind of URL that you're using from a photo online, you can do that. But the easiest way is search web, and this is, you can find whatever you can do on Google Images. So what I did, because I'm in Sacramento, I put Sacramento background, and I wanted to use something that represented where I live and where I'm from, where I grew up. So I ended up finding different ones. You can see here, there's all kinds of photos, free ones that you could use. The key is to use kind of a big image, and you can see when you find the pixels on Google, you can see how big it is, but we'll make it work either way. So let's see. First of all, that's not Sacramento, but let's go up right here, okay? And let's find, it's definitely not Sacramento. There's no beach. So we'll go here to, let's just find the river right here. We're gonna go to Insert, right? It's gonna give you the option to Insert. And now it's here, okay? And you can tell this is not gonna work very well because it's a small photo. And what we could do is we're gonna make it as big as we can, okay? And I'm gonna keep stretching it out. You wanna give yourself more space. You wanna keep grabbing the corners and making it as big as you can. Okay, you're gonna start losing like the background, your actual canvas here, where you're working on. Just make it as big as you can, like I said, and we're gonna actually adjust it in a second. Easiest way to do it is to drag it towards your top left so you actually have room to drag more and take more. And then once you have it big enough, you'll see the edges here and we're there. Okay, so now this is obviously not going to work like this. So what we do is we go to the crop tool, which is right here on top of your toolbar, and you click crop image, and you're gonna drag this down until you see the background. In the background, what I mean is the canvas. So if you can see the line, it's kind of hard to see, but the line is right here. So we're gonna take it to right there, and it'll actually highlight itself on red when you go across it. Okay, we're gonna go down as well, and we're going to try to find the bottom of this crop here. And the problem, I have something here in the way, so let's just move this really quick here. All right, that's in the way. So what we're going to do is grab this here, okay, and take it up, and you'll actually feel it. You can see if you go up, it's still white, 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 and it will actually stop at red right there, which tells you that's the end of the canvas that you're using. So that's actually the background of the image that I'm going to find. Let's see if I can move it up a little bit more. I feel like I made it too small. Sorry. So we're gonna go here. We lined it up with the line here. It's kind of hard to tell, especially if you use a big picture that's like doesn't have a clear background. It's kind of hard to tell where you are, but there it is. I could tell that I'm now at the line and I am there. Okay. And what you want to do, you don't want to press enter yet. This is your crop. Whatever's in the middle of this here is going to be cropped. You actually have your cursor tool right now, your little move tool, and you can move the image down to make it fit where you like, because I want to kind of center this boat, the Delta Queen here, and I will press enter. Okay, and now it's going to crop out my background. So that's the background I'm going to use just because I want to. You could use any image you want. You can also just keep it blank and a color, and I can show you how to do that right now. So if you go here to shape and you insert like a rectangle or so, you could just make the rectangle as big as the canvas. Right, and the problem is I have this camera here, so let's move this to the front right here. All right, so that's an issue you're not going to have because you're not going to be using the camera. And so if I go to shape tool here, all right, it's going to give you kind of this little cross cursor, and it's pretty much telling me how big do you want this image. And so we're going to make it as big as we can. And there is my box right there. And you could play with the paint tool. You could change the color, like I want to do a black background. I want to do a gradient background, which is cool. So the solid ones are just, you can just change the colors and use any of the colors that are here. And then gradient, is pretty cool because it'll like kind of give you like 2-3 different shades of a color. So let's just say we wanted to do like some green. You can tell that it's dark and then it's light and then it's dark again. So that's the gradient. I like to use a photo just because I want to show my kids on Google Classroom. Like I like to just tell them stories. I used to use like favorite athletes that I had or famous figures, historic figures that I was into. But this year I chose to just pick places that I'm from so I could, kind of use this as icebreakers. So I could delete this because I don't want to use this. And I'm going to use the photo that I had already. Okay. And what you want to do is beforehand, before you even get started on this, if you want to do the Bitmoji, there's going to be another tutorial for that. But let's just start with the wording. So you go to insert and you go to word art. Okay. And it's a lot different than putting text in because text only allows you to use like these certain fonts they have. So here with the word art, I could just put like, okay, we're going to put, advisory, give an advisory class. Now I have advisory here. You can center the artwork. You can see this is my whole canvas to use. So you want to just make sure you have it kind of centered here as much as you want. And don't worry about this getting cut off because if you use the pixels 1,000, dimensions 1,000 by 250, it will fit in your Google Classroom. Okay, so here you can actually mess with the fonts. You can mess around, and I like to use something that's obviously very legible. So let's just go with like Impact, which is kind of bold and it has a good image to it. So what we do is we can change the color, and let's just say we go with like purple because we're in Sacramento, right? Sacramento Kings. We'll go with that, and then we can actually change the borders. So this is the paint tool to fill in the words, the letters, and this is the border color that you can actually change the border around the letters. And then this next one right here is border weight, and this is the one you want to mess with to kind of get that width on it. And I like to make it nice and bold so you can actually kind of see the word advisory. And you could change this word for anything, right? If you have math, social studies, PE, whatever your class is, you could put that there. Okay, so let's just pretend this is it right here. And actually notice that right here, I didn't stretch the picture enough because you can see that my pixel has a transparent background. So what I want to do now is in order to fix this, I'm going to have to, let's see if I could go back and actually stretch the picture out a little more, crop it, and there we are. Okay, so there we go. I'm at advisory. Right now, what's going on really hot is using the Bitmojis, and that's another step you have to take beforehand before you even start this. But right now we're here, and I'm going to go to Bitmoji. I'm actually going to move my camera again. And I could just add the Bitmojis that I've already done. So like I could just say, you know what? I want to put a picture there that I'm like ready to work, ready to go. And you got to be careful because some of these might be inappropriate for your classroom because they use some, sometimes they use some words or some phrases that we probably wouldn't use with students. But let's just go with this one. We'll just spread some positivity here, okay? Right, you are essential, and I could put that right here, and it will show up. What I've noticed though, if you're going to put an image on the left side of the words, it might get cut off, and I'm going to show you why. Okay, so let's just put this on the right here. If you go up here to my Google Classroom, you're going to see that anything here gets cut off. I mean, as far as if something's in front of it. So you already have like your class, your quarters, you can do the sections, periods, you have your classroom code that you want to share with your students later on, and you have your Meet link and all that. So if you put an image here, it might not work so well. So here I have like the class title, and I have my Bitmoji on this side. So what I want to do, I go back to the one I was creating, right? And I'm going to make this one a little smaller than usual, just so I can put like 2 or 3 Bitmojis here. Okay, I'm going to just tell the students, hey, you are essential. And if you see the Bitmoji comes in front of the words, if you wanted to go behind it, you would just go to Arrange, Order, and you can send to the back, right? The problem is it'll go all the way back to behind the photo. So what you want to do is mess around with it till you find it again. So bring forward, and you can see it kind of shows up, but it's behind the letters now. Okay, so let's go to one that I might want to use for this class. I'm actually going to use this one. So let's just go with like this one right here. It's a little less colorful, and it's just something that could probably blend in easier. There we go. And I like the black with the purple. So now I have You Matter. Okay, and I actually can put that right here in front, because the students can read it, if I really position it right. I can actually make it a little bit bigger here. Okay, and see that sometimes the issue is that it'll get cut off. So it depends what the word is, so let's mess around with this a little bit. I kind of want to figure out a way. Maybe I can make my head the O. There we go. So now students can actually still read it. They get the message, and they have something kind of cool right there, my Bitmoji. Okay, so now you're done. Okay, you label it, advisory, class, banner. Okay, and then you're gonna go to File, Download as PNG. It's the easiest way to do it. And it's actually gonna show up right here at the bottom of your little downloads, depending if you're using a Mac or a Windows, Microsoft. Okay, so what we're gonna do is go up to the Google Classroom again. And I'm actually going to create a new one just for this. So let's just go here to Classes, right? And let's go to Create Class. All right, and I'm gonna label it real quick. I'm going to put 6th grade because I have 6th graders this year. And I don't have a room number or anything like that. We're digital, so it doesn't matter what room we're in. All right, so once it creates, then I'm going to end up taking that banner and putting it on the top of the Google Classroom header. And it's going to look pretty cool. So just give it a second here. Okay, so if you see that you get kind of like this generic one they give you, and you could change the themes here, right? People could change the themes. They actually give you some that are pretty cool. They're very basic. You could use those as well. But I like to give myself a little bit of, artistic opportunity here so I can add my own stuff. So you actually, if I go back too quick, upload photo. And if it's already here, right, then I just drag it here. You could also, obviously, if you save it to your downloads, then you could upload it there. Okay, so now I'm uploading it here, and it should go right away. You're going to see this box it gives you, but it has the same kind of ratio. So all you got to do is drag it out to the corners, and it will actually fit perfectly if you made the header 1000 by 250. Set the class theme, and here we go. So you can see right there, it shows up as my classroom header, and obviously it gets cut off with some words. And in order to go around that, you can grab this and just push it over, right? So now that we know, like, oh, you know what, towards the left, it kind of gets cut off. Then you just take this, highlight your, click on the Bitmoji or whatever you're using, press Shift, click on the words as well, and it will highlight multiple things. And you can just move it over, knowing that you need to go over more to the right. Right, and you can see that more to the right. You can kind of go back and kind of mess with it. You can see that on the right, there's not that much, not many things that will cut it off. So let's just save it again, just for learning purposes here. We'll save it again just so I could practice one more time. Show you again. It saves. We go to upload photo, and we can take the new one that I just created, and now it's there, right? And now I could probably tell this is going to be better because it's not going to be cut off by the words. We select the class theme, and you will see it upload, and it looks pretty cool. So right there in the middle. And if you guys go back to your classes, it's pretty cool because if you go back to your classes, you will see that up here, you're going to see it shows up, and it's just something cool for the kids to see as they go around in Google Classroom. Okay, thanks for watching.